Hello, beautiful souls. This is Vineeta Kumar, also known as twinflameunion, bringing you guys twin flame messages for June. I have been getting a lot of insights on the coming up summer. That's for those that are living in the northern hemisphere. You will know that you have summer approaching, and it seems like that it's going to be a lot of things that will be happening. A lot of action is happening in the summer. So having said that, the world is getting into a bigger and better place. Where a lot of countries are now lifting their COVID rules and stuff like that. So it allows people to do a little bit more, and it seems like that there's going to be a lot of celebrations coming up in the summertime, and just a little bit more less intense than the last 2 years that we have been encountering, just with the social aspect and all that sort of thing. Having said that, we do have some really interesting events that are happening in June. So I want to say that also we are approaching the summer solstice. So there's going to be some heavy energies as well. But in today's reading, you will be able to figure out how the energies impact you and how you can actually look for sort of guidance from your helping spirits and stuff like that. So that's what I've been kind of channeling, and it just feels like that it's gonna be one of those months where a lot of things will align when it comes to going forward for the rest of the year. June will be, of course, halfway into the year as well, so that is also a sync. So yeah, let me know if this is something that some of you are also thinking will be the case for June, where you'll sort of see a lot of things that are supposed to be in alignment or gearing up to be in alignment. So one or the other. So you'll have to let me know if this is something that you all feel or not. Having said that, we're gonna dive deep into this reading, but before we actually do that, let's hit it. And welcome back. For those that are new to this channel, welcome. Please do not forget to hit like, share, and subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell so that you do not miss any future videos. I do have a series of twin flame readings that are timeless. Whenever you're drawn to any of my readings, or if you are doing it as a repeat, it will always be something new that you have learned in that reading. It's just the way that the spirit has designed me to execute it for you guys. So definitely do check them out. Even if you feel like that you need additional guidance, you can see all that or rewatch the readings. It is set up as timeless, like I said. I also want to say that you can check out my other YouTube content. Some of them are guided meditations, as well as the pep talk series, and as well as the Ava series. That's all there for you guys to check out. And the whole point of this channel is to help you in your soul's journey, even if you are not a twin flame. If you want to book any private sessions with me, you can do that as well. Link is in the description box. You can purchase and book directly from my website, as well as I want to add that 10% of sales also go to twinflame, 10% of twinflameunion sales go to charity as well. And I have a couple of organizations that I have paired with, so you can have a look at that as well. Today I have issues with communication, clearly, so just bear with me. And as usual, for those that are my regular viewers, you know that I always provide an insight or the highlights of June, and this is strictly from Tanaza's website. You can take a look at it. It's called Forever Conscious. You can actually dive deep into the highlights that I'm gonna be going ahead with, so have a look at that and get a little bit more insights. So here it is. We've got June 3rd. Mercury goes direct in the sign of Taurus. So for those that are that have Taurus in the chart, this will be huge for you guys. So and clearly I need that because it's the type of work that I do. I cannot have my throat chakra blocked, or I can't. I have to keep it in alignment, and sometimes people have their throat chakras blocked for other reasons or whatever have you. And for those that are serving their mission, you don't want your throat chakra blocked in any ways, because of course, that's where you communicate, that's where your creative ideas are, this is where your creative juices are. So definitely, I know that Mercury will be on my side as soon as it hits Taurus. So I'm a Taurian sun sign. So okay, so that's that is June 3rd. So now we are going into June 4th. Saturn is gonna go into retrograde mode. So clearly see my my communication is not very good today. We have June 11th, Venus goes conjunct in Uranus. And June 4th, we've got Sagittarius super full moon. And anytime you have actually super full moon, it is very, very potent, and it's very, very powerful. So full moons are always good for releasing things that no longer serve you, or to do sort of any kind of ritual when it comes to releasing things that you don't want with you. So yeah, it's a good time to do that kind of ritual. So we have June 21st. We've got, of course, the summer solstice. So we're going to be stepping out of the spring mode and going into the summer solstice. And we also have Cancer season that's going to show up as well, which is anybody that is in the sun sign of Cancer. So that would be the Cancer season. And then this is really powerful for people that have actually Cancer in their charts, because you've got a lot of things happening in that 1 week span from 21st to 28. June 28, you have a new moon in Cancer, so it's a good time to set really good intentions and stuff like that, good manifestations, that sort of thing. Cancer is in the tarot deck, the moon is representing the astrological sign in Cancer in the typical tarot deck. So yeah, it's good to actually set some sort of intentions and whatever have you that you want to manifest. It's a good time to manifest during that time. June 28, we've got Neptune going into retrograde mode as well. So you may want to look at why that is the case, or what this means when it comes to spirituality. June 30th, we've got Sun conjuncting in Black Moon Lilith. So Lilith, you have to read up on her. the way that I understand it, and of course people have more information you can put down in the comments. Some of you are very knowledgeable in these kind of things. Lilith is the other side of Eve. If you know anything about the biblical story of Adam and Eve, of course they were the first men or first humans on earth according to the Bible. So and after that other creations happened. So so Lilith is sort of like the the other side of Eve, and a lot of people, of course, many eons ago used to think that she is like the evil side of Eve. But now in the New Age spirituality, people have actually embraced her and realized that she was actually not as bad as the way that it was perceived in their in the past, because now, of course, in the new spirituality, a lot of old paradigm is getting cast out, and the new age paradigm is coming up as we embody that, and we are definitely losing things that we do not want it to kind of stick to us, the negative aspects of the past. And going forward, of course, a lot of there's so many light that has been shed on a lot of things that people just don't resonate at this point in this time because of the elevated consciousness that they are in. So yeah, it's pretty interesting story. Do read up on that. I highly recommend it. It'll be pretty intriguing for some of you that like these kind of things. So having said that, this is the reading. This is the highlights. So we will go into the reading, and I haven't brought a few decks out in a long time. So let's have a look at. We'll start off with some oracle messages, and then of course I will go into the tarot and as well as messages from your twin flame. So yeah, let's have a look at it. And I didn't even realize that this is at the bottom of the deck, and I have pre-shuffled these, of course, as those that are my regular viewer, you guys know that. But look at this. This is milk and honey, and I didn't even realize that it's actually at the bottom of the deck. So the abundance that I was talking about in the summertime, that a lot of things are changing in a positive way, is related to the milk and honey aspect, because it is as what it sounds. Milk and honey is having, and of course it had that rainbow around it. It is having that abundance that it talks about, right? So and it means exactly that. So we'll see if it actually shows up in the reading, but I thought that was interesting that when I picked up the deck, I actually saw that. So this one is Fork in the Road, and I'll just show it to you guys. I'm not going to take this, but as I'm shuffling, a fork in the road basically means it's the same energy as the Two of Wands, where you have a couple of options and you're trying to decide which way to go. So it's kind of that same energy, and let's see. Some people do have a lot of options, and could be anything. Could be ideas, or ventures, or trips, work, business, right? Lots of things like that. Time for the nap. So this is again, this is the moon here representing time for a nap, and for most, the reason why the moon is here, it's here because that's usually when we actually go into sleep, right? In the majority of us, we sleep in the nighttime. So and you have the fox sleeping underneath the crescent of the moon. I don't know if you can see that, right? And time for nap, I want to say that intuitively this card is, of course I'll go back into the book because it always has really good insight, so I'll read from there as well. It's time to just kind of wind down, right? We are so busy sometimes trying to push so many things and projects on a day-to-day basis that we sometimes we don't we don't give enough time for rest. We don't give enough time for sleep. And I am actually guilty of that. I have been so overwhelmed just trying to stretch time and get a lot of things accomplished. And yeah, I don't know how I'm doing it. I haven't burnt out. I'm surprised. That's some energy level that I must have. I have no idea, but I know that I've been pushing it a lot, so extremely, and it's probably a good message for me to. And I was thinking that I'm almost have to schedule time for time out, to rest and to take more sleep. I'm actually a little sleep deprived too, just because I am trying to push more things in a 24-hour time clock, so it's too much. And definitely that's probably a good message for me to take. This one is why, and we've got a question mark. I don't know if you can see, and then you've got this person that has a book here with the angel wings. So the why, to me, when I look at it intuitively, just it tells me that there's a lot of questions that people are asking, and they're probably asking about why things are happening the way it is when it pertains to, let's just say, your Akashic, or because Akashic is of course the book of all your deeds that is from the previous lifetimes. A lot of people are wondering what has been written for them and what is in store for them, what's in the future, what was in the past, that sort of thing. And there's questions around that. So chopwood is the next one. And this is probably to intuitively, I want to say that this is just to gear up for the hard times coming ahead. Usually when you chop wood, you are trying to light a fire, so to bring that warmth energy, that sort of thing, right? So let's see one more card, and here it is. We've got poised. And this is a person that is expanding her wings and just jumping in the air. So probably going with the flow, right? And then we've got the yin. And yin is, of course, the female energy. Okay, so let's have a look at the official messages. That was just my intuitive messages. Let's have a look and see what it says. Time for a nap. Essential meaning: rest, rejuvenation, renewal, temporary non-action, allowing dreams to arise. And that's so true. When we sleep, that's when we actually dream. And I have been encouraging people, hopefully you all have been now keeping a dream journal, because a lot of prophecies or a lot of insights come for people that are in this spiritual journey through dreams. And if you keep a dream journal, what you'll end up finding is that the more you can understand the dreams that you have, the more they will give it to you. There's no point for them to give you messages through dreams if you cannot understand it, right? So the struggle is that a lot of people do not understand what they mean. So and of course there's not much on Google when it comes to dream interpretation. So I would say meditate on it. Definitely wake up in the morning, and whenever you wake up, you quickly write down what you have dreamt of, even in highlighted form, so that you do not forget. And then when you have time, you journal it and sit with it and see what it you know, how it makes sense. So yeah, standard. This deck also tells you lots of other messages when it comes to relationship and finances and all that, but I'll just actually read the general just so that I don't knock off time here, because I have other decks that I want to go through. This is the time to step away and rest. Let the cares of your world go. Remember what I was saying to you? So yeah. Go into a state of non-action and allow yourself to be free of the shackles of your goals, your lists, and your desires. I don't disagree. That's what I was saying. It's totally me right now. Nothing is as important as rest, detachment, and neutrality. Yes, I hear you. Clearly you guys needed me to read this out, as in this came as a first card, so jeez. I get the hint from my guides when I get it. Trust me. The overly busy mind can block you from inner wisdom if you don't step back. Take a seat and rest. Be willing to let dreams surface and ideas flow through you, absent any force or conscious direction, as you observe without engagement now. So yeah. All right, I do take that hint. Thank you, Spirit. What is 31? Okay. Here is the why. Essential meaning, motives, driving intention, the power of knowing the why. This is great power in understanding your motives right now. The oracle asks you to be very clear about why you are asking these questions, looking for answers as well, behaving in this way, and most important, making this choice. Knowing your why is the key to fulfillment. When you are clear about it, your intention will be a magnet for miracles. So this is kind of talking about going deep within and asking some of the questions that are coming, and it is okay to actually ask these kind of questions, because what it'll do is it'll get you to sort of find the answers as well, and nobody else can do that for you, unfortunately. It's something that you have to go within and do, put in that time and focus and find out your questions, why, and then the answers will come shortly after that if you are focused enough, right? When you think about something, feel it and then act on it. The invisible why is the life force energy within the seed, which brings it to life and holds the potential for growth. And a lot of times people don't ask enough questions, because the more questions you find, you ask, you also tend to find the answers, and that's when you actually start making goals and plans and putting manifestations in action, that sort of thing, right? So it's a good thing to do when it comes to this particular reading, and just asking yourself what you want in life, right? When you put a timeline to stuff like that. So yeah, it's asking you to do that. The next one was chop wood. And chop wood is being grounded in everyday experience, humility. These are times when big dream is meant to lie dormant in your consciousness, so that you can pay attention to the simple chores in life. Sometimes we have set such big goals that you are not paying attention to the little ones that are around you, right? That you need to conquer as well, or finish. So consider why pruning a tree is forerunning of delighting in the beautiful blooms when it is in full blossom. this, when it comes to, I'm gonna go with the example with roses. That's really good example of that. A plant that can grow as tall as a tree if you do not look after it. But the thing is that when it grows as tall as a tree, it doesn't really bloom all that much. For those that are into gardening, you'll know what I mean. At the end of every, especially for those that live in the northern hemisphere, you know that pruning is very important. And a lot of times, all the pruning happens in fall, when you actually prune it a little bit and then allow it to rest, and then come spring it spruces into life by throwing leaves and buds and stuff like that. The more you prune, the bushier it gets, and the more healthy the plant is, and it'll give you actually lots of bloom in it. If you do not prune, it's gonna just grow tall, and eventually it won't look even nice, because roses are meant to not go that big, not as tall as a house, as that height. So yeah, you will just see long stems and it'll look very ugly. So this is why most gardeners will actually prune them, because you get better results out of it when it comes to actually having the bloom, right? So, and of course, for those that are in a warmer country where you don't have winter seasons, people prune them anyways for vases. They throw roses in the vases. The more you prune, the more it blooms, because in new life forms out of the stems, and then new growth, new buds. So it doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, it actually works. So that's sort of the same idea. And in this case, it's asking you to just kind of center yourself, and of course, indirectly, it's telling you to kind of go into the first part of the reading, which is to take a nap. So you have to take time to just kind of nourish your body, make sure that you are taking the rest and the nutrients that that will allow you to go forward. So that's what it's kind of saying. You need to put in the nourishing part, right? That nourishes you, and all that. Taking attention away from goals brings you into a state of receptivity. This is the deeper purpose of releasing attachments. When you engage in everyday tasks in a meditative, contemplative way, you clear away energy to receive aha moments, which brings you even closer to what you seek. And that's going into that why zone when you're asking the right questions. So it's kind of marrying each other in that, in those two cards. And then we've got poised. So let's have a look at what that means. Being ready, bringing something to light, being at your best, confidence. You can be assured that you are ready for anything right now. You know what you need to. Your skills are sharp, and you've come to this place armed with wisdom and knowledge. And you sense a new phase of your life about to begin. That's a really, really good message. People respond to your confidence and trust you. This is an auspicious time to begin new things. Very on point to what I was channeling. And of course, the bottom message of all this is telling that you need to take enough time to take some rest. And it is good to ask questions, because the questions will lead you into setting up some goals and desires and manifestation, as well as to know where you are in life. And then also to make sure that you are giving the right nourishment for your ideas and your body, that sort of thing, so that you can manifest it in a very clear way. Go into the meditative state, go within, go ask, And it's also telling you that it's a good time to set up some goals and manifestation. That's what I was saying. It seems like that the summer is going to bring that for a lot of you. So, and then the bottom of the deck we had yin, and that was the last of that message. A little bit lengthy on the first spread, but then it's got so much messages that it came. The feminine principle of receptivity, letting someone else make the first move, gathering information and taking in cues, the art of conscious allowing. This is the time of calculated receptivity as you gracefully await what is coming to you, ready to accept it when it appears. Yin does not involve frozen dreams or even resting, but rather consciously allowing things to flow to you, poised to receive the bounty that you will be made available to you. It implies sensitivity as you alertly study the actions of others and contemplate how they will affect you and yours. Remember, you must take space for miracles to appear. Be the shaped, not the shaper. And you'll see how quickly your dreams manifest. So it's basically telling you to get ready and allow, if you've done a lot of things in terms of manifesting and stuff like that, it's time to get ready and make sure that your containers are empty and you've try to, and it's very generic because I'm reading it for everybody, but see how that applies to you and how you can get ready for the abundance to come. So a little lengthy, but here it is. This was the messages for coming June, and of course the summer is something that I saw. Let's dive into the next portion of the oracle, and this one, I like I said, I have shuffled this before, so I'll just do a quick shuffle. Dragonflies at the bottom of the card, and it talks about emergence. Volcano. Volatility. Next card. Winter solstice. Reflection. Passion. And that's the fire. And one more. Cave. Sanctuary. But on the deck, spring equinox. So that's what we are in, is the spring equinox. And it's talking about rebirth. That is always the case when you are in the spring anyways. A lot of life forms in the spring. So so let's see what the actual meaning is here to this. Okay. This is particularly volatile time for you. Unexpected changes, sometimes quite sudden and dramatic, are occurring in ways that you are absolutely in no control over. These circumstances may be so powerful as to the fact that it can shake you formally and your foundations of your security. They may even cause you to reassess the direction your life is taking, to question some of your relationships, or to reevaluate the work you have chosen. Although these events may rock your world, know that the Spirit is the guiding force behind them. It is a matter of finding your trust that life knows what it is doing in the midst of these storms of change. It also requires you to make adjustments quickly and not to cling to what was, but instead move forward and welcome your arms wide with what yet is to come. All from a place of being present in this moment. You truly have nothing to fear. And that is true for those that know anything about volcano eruptions. Once it erupts, once the catastrophe is done, then of course new lives form around that. So it's sometimes important for the planet to actually go through that. Of course, nobody loves it when it does. It kills so many plants and life and whatnot, but it also re-nourishes the earth so that new things can come out of it, even more powerful and more abundant, right? So, and that goes through with trees and life force and all that sort of thing. So that is the message. And the next one was winter solstice. So the message here is: review the past year and ask yourself what the most important lesson you have had to learn are, and what have you accomplished, and what dreams and visions you want to manifest in the upcoming year. Whether it has been relatively smooth ride or challenging series of events, acknowledge your experience as being the work of the source, no matter what your judgments, fears, or joys are. Honor whatever has happened over the previous several months with gratitude and forgiveness. Let it go. Allow yourself some solitude as you can spend more time, spend quiet time, slow time in reflection. Once you feel complete, reflect on your present life, especially focusing on what you are grateful for. When you are finished, consider what is to come, all the different possibilities and potential that exist before you. Allow your imagination to roam without the limitations or ambition, and see what shows up. Notice how you feel in your body with whatever scenarios plays out in your mind. These are previews of that which is gestating. And if you guys don't know anything about gestation, you need to read my blog on 12 stages of alchemy, and can manifest and grow when cared for properly. Patience and stillness is called for here, for just as the earth cycles have their own pace, so does this cycle. And the next one was fire. What are your passions? What turns you on? What ignites that inner flame and creative spark? When you feel devoted of passion, consider what is happening in your life and missing in your life. It is most likely an absence of the fire in your belly, something that makes your heart beat faster and quickens your breathing. It's talking about things that you desire and your ideas and what actually you get a high out of, right? Success, right? Money, your twin flame. I don't know. You'll have to tell me what they are, or maybe all. Passion is not something that comes from outside of you, although some events and circumstances can trigger it. It is an intensity of feeling, whether quietly experienced or enthusiastically expressed. Passions can simply be a strong feeling, or the sensation itself can be so powerful that it motivates you to act. This entire reading, it seems like, is geared around manifestations and getting you guys motivated, and yeah, doing something about it. So I think that's an amazing reading so far, and in a very nutshell, it's something that I think some of you needed, especially if you haven't been getting very creative with just figuring out what you want in life. So yeah, that's good. This is often associated exclusively with sexuality, which is certainly one way of experiencing it, yet it limits the meaning and demeans the broader possibilities. Open yourself to the truth of what you are passionate about and find a means to express it. And last of the spread, and then the bottom of the deck, we've got Cave. And Cave talks about there's a quiet place, still place inside of you that will always be available as a sanctuary. Yet, finding such a space in the natural world will enhance and complement this internal place of peace. Whether it is a cave, meadow, forest, seashore, or any other setting in nature, that is where you can see, hear, feel the presence of the Creator in your surroundings, let it become a temple in your heart and soul. You know, it's really important to find that quiet place where you can actually reflect, and it could be also as quiet as the garden in your house, right? You know, you don't have to go to a forest to find that quiet place. You can zone out and do that anytime, rather than having your computer, television, or any other human made device or activity in your sanctuary. Allow yourself to discover the perfect place in nature where you can simply be and breathe. And this card is talking all about the nature, so nothing to do with you sitting in front of a couch and watching the TV and finding your sanctuary there. So you'll have to experience nature. And that's what this card is saying. Doing so bridges the connection between the internal and external, facilitating and spiritual communication that allows your being to be aligned in a dramatic and quiet reverie with all that is. In today's busy world, it becomes even more critical to set aside time for sanctuary. That is so true, even if you have to schedule it. So that's what I was saying to you guys. I need to almost schedule some of these things, and I know that I have been scheduling some me time, but it's not enough. What I have done so far is not enough. I need to do that. So it's a very strong message here for me, and also it also tells me that I know that that's what I need to do. So yeah. So we're going into the bottom of the deck, which was Spring Equinox, and it talked about rebirth. You thought this passage you have through the world never end. Just as certain as the light of the world fades in every few months, it makes its return and the earth rejoices. The fresh breath of spring sweeps away the cobwebs acquired from the absence of the light. The light is now obviously increasing as nature begins to emerge in her many forms, shapes, and colors that remind us of the continual cycles of Mother Earth. This cycle of rebirth you are experiencing follows a considerably challenging time. Any tears you may have shed have cleared the way for what has been gestating. Wow, this has come up a lot. So do look at that article. Which is now ripe and ready to emerge. That which no longer serves you needs to be put to rest so that freshness and newness of spirit can make itself known to you. Sometimes birth can be painful, particularly in that passage just before delivery. Yet what emerges can be fresh and beautiful. Be the emergence of this next cycle with faith and grace. Beautiful message. So that was the oracle messages, and let's see what, I haven't done this card in a while. Let's see which ascended masters is gonna, or your helping guides will actually assist in this. Let's have a look. Bottom of the deck we have Sanat Kumar, and that's the light action. Your internal guidance is coming through and loud and clear. Share your light. So here it is. We've got Diwal Kul, Dharma, unfolding. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. So true. What else? Hope. Love and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Choose loving thoughts. And this is hope. What else? Paul the Venetian. Experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. Oh, look at that. So far the reading is flowing. Interesting. We've got Mahavatar Babaji, soul expansion. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connections between all things. And bottom of the deck, we've got the Holy Spirit. Expect miracles. Remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. So, very, very good. And now let's do the tarot. See what messages want to come. Any additional messages from the reading? Actually, this one I didn't shuffle. I thought that I did. So I'll just give it a little bit of a shuffle. I don't have room to shuffle. Isn't that something? I'm gonna just move this. Okay. Another thing, for those that are into tarot or oracle, when it stops to shuffle, when it locks, that means it doesn't want to get shuffled anymore. So I don't know if you guys knew that. So it did that just now. So Spirit usually will tell you that it's done. It doesn't want to shuffle anymore. And yeah, the more you work with cards, you will know that. So as I was shuffling, I was getting this a lot, and this is the Four of Wands. So of course this is the twin flame card, you know, for those that know that, 1111. So, and usually that means, you know, union and all that sort of thing. Chariot is here, and it's talking about moving forward in the direction of your dreams and desires and goals. So we've got Four of Pentacles. This is the energy where you're holding on to something, and with the way that this reading is showing up, I want to say that you guys are going to hold on to what you are trying to manifest and not give it up, and wait for it to arrive. You'll set the intention and you'll wait for it to arrive. And that's the Three of Wands. If you know anything about Three of Wands, that's a card where it tells you that this guy is at the end of the shore waiting for his ships to come home. So yeah, you've set the intention and you are now waiting for it to come into fruition. And lots of ideas and desires are already in the process of manifestation, and this is what this talks about. Ace of Wands, it's always about desires, intentions, and what you want coming forward. So very, very profound. We've got Three of Swords, and Three of Swords, I'm gonna actually get a clarifier for this, why it's even here, because we talked about desires and intentions and stuff like that. So let's see why Three of Swords is here. Page of Pentacles. So to me, the reason why Three of Swords is here is talking about Pentacles are all about things that you can actually bring into fruition in real world. Wands are all about desires, intentions. Swords is all about thoughts, and of course Cups is all about emotions and stuff like that. And when you get Three of Swords with the Page of Pentacles, to me it's telling me that you're slowly, when you put it together, it's telling me that slowly you are getting out of that zone and you're definitely moving forward. You're gonna be focusing on a lot of other things to manifest. And Pentacles is all about material world and stuff like that. So you're gonna not be worried about your broken heart or stuff that is bothering you emotionally and stuff like that. You're gonna go past that. Of course, it's in a page-like energy, so it's gonna be a slow motion, but you will slowly get out of that, and you'll start actually doing a little bit of manifestation in a more ambitious way, if that makes sense. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Hangman. So the Hangman is talking about, that those cards that came up, taking time for a nap, the cave, sanctuary, or chop wood, right? Where it's telling you to just kind of take the time out, really take the time out and rest. And if some of you have been juggling a lot of things, this is really, really important for many of you to do. And I know sometimes we get so caught up in the world that we live in that we sometimes forget that we can only push ourselves so much. And for those that have been extremely busy, this is going to be a reading totally that will be calling out to you to just kind of take that time out. And sometimes it's also not just material world, it's also about your family. Sometimes if they've been taking a lot of your time and they've been taking a lot of your energy, so it's always important to take that me time and make sure that you are not burning yourself out, right? So I'm going to clarify, of course, these messages from the tarot, so using another tarot deck. And let's see. So I'm going to clarify the Chariot here. Oh, and I will show you what was at the bottom of the deck. We had Three of Wands. Oh, interesting. So same energy as the Three of Wands that showed up here. So clarifying the Chariot, we've got Two of Pentacles. So if you look at the Chariot is always talking about the balancing energy. It's the yin and the yang. It is the the opposites, the white and the black sphinx, right, that you see, and it's of course sitting on a chariot and is leading the way. So it's finding also that balance, and so does this energy, which is the Two of Pentacles. It's finding that little balance, how to balance everything and how to juggle things. And okay, I think this is really, really on point with this message, to not juggle too many things, try to find the balance. And if you look at these two kids, they have a walnut here. I think that's what it is. And it's you know, it's got a seesaw on it, and these two kids are trying to play seesaw, and they're trying to juggle that, right? You know, of course, if you have anything on a round surface and you try to juggle that, because the walnut will be wobbly too, right? So you want to make sure that you're not too engrossed in all this. You need to actually take a time out and relax as well. So let's see why Four of Pentacles is here. We'll get a clarification on that. The Moon is here. Of course, the Moon is all about self-reflection, intuition. So so if it's enriched with the Four of Pentacles, it's to just take some time out, go within, hold on to some of your quiet time. So that makes sense to me. Three of Wands. Let's have a look and see why this is here. We've got the Emperor. So for those that were thinking about the Divine Masculine, it's also telling me that, of course, the Divine Masculine is just waiting for the right time. You know, they have some of their intentions set, but they're just working on the right time to, you know, approach perhaps. Ace of Wands. Next card. Oh, this one came up again. This was last month. This is the Devil. And with the Ace of Wands, ooh la la, that's that's insane. Insane amount of passion. Jeez. Yeah. Only thing that it needs is an Empress and a Sun, and bam, you've got a baby. Oh goodness. Seven of Wands. And this is clarifying the Three of Hearts and the Page of Pentacles. Seven of Wands is all about fighting for what you believe and not giving up. Standing up for your truth. So, and then let's see what the bottom of the deck is saying. Ten of Wands. So yeah, a lot of people felt really, really burdened with a lot of things that was going up in the air when it comes to just in general the things that they were doing. And if you guys were in that energy, definitely it's the end of the cycle, and things will slow down a little bit and not be as intense as it was. So because the Hangman is here, of course, and is saying that it will, and that was clarifying the Hangman. So yeah, if you guys were feeling a little bit overwhelmed with a lot of things that was in motion, definitely the Hangman is gonna bring it where you will actually be not as insanely busy. I mean, busy is good, but there's also it also is what it is. You need to take that time and rest. So last we have messages from your twin flame. So let's have a look and see what wants to come. I don't know, the energy that I'm feeling right now holding these cards, oh my goodness. All right, let's see what they want to say, because it's like, it's like I almost couldn't pick up the card. It's just so heavy, very, very heavy energy. So I'm working very hard to build my empire. That is my main focus right now, and keeps coming up in my readings when I'm actually channeling the divine masculines. So yeah, if the divine masculines are watching this, this is also your reading to take things slow and rest as well, and take that time out, because if you're working day in day out, you're not going to have much juice to do anything in future. Take as it resonates, but I'm just saying it's very clear that for the watchers that are watching this, including me that's facilitating this, then we need to, you know, take our time and do some relaxing as well. Well, I'm gonna see what the next card is saying. I want you to work on your healing as I am working on mine right now. I am your mirror. What else? I write messages to you all the time, but do not hit the send button. So for some of you that have their divine masculines that have ghosted them or haven't messaged them for a while, this is for you guys, where they are saying that they write messages to you all the time, but just don't hit the send button. So another card jumped out. I want to have a long-term relationship with you. I want to marry you. I want to have children with you. So of course, you know, a lot of twin flames are going to have twin flame kids. So you'll have to know how this applies to you. Yeah. For Mother's Day, both of the kids, those that know my story, yeah, they wished me. So it was really, really, I was like up in the mood, of course, as usual. No is here. So if you had asked a question of some sort, then you have your answer is no. And I will still clarify the no here. So no, we are mirroring each other. Pay attention to the signs and things. So if some of you were thinking that they're not getting the signs and things as you are, or they're not mirroring you, then this is a validation that yes, they are. We are soulmates. We have known each other before. And I ghosted you because I could not handle the intensity of the connection. I'm ready to give you equal love and devotion as you are to me. And bottom of the deck. I am leaving the past behind right now. I'm leaving things behind that no longer serve me. So hopefully you guys resonated with this reading. Drop some comments in the description and let me know what you thought of this reading. Hopefully going forward you guys will be manifesting some really good intentions for the remainder of the year. It's never again too late to set intentions. Sometimes with the hoopla of the holidays and being so busy, you sometimes don't have the goals set up as you embark into the new year. But halfway into the year, a lot of clarity also comes, and that's where you all are sitting. So try to figure out what you want and go for it. It's never too late to set any intentions. It's all you have to do is set the intention, see how it looks, and go for it. With that, this was Twin Flame Union bringing you guys twin flame messages for June.